flora and fauna. Why has the government made this sanctuary? Why do we need to protect plants and animals? What is their importance? The plants and animals are the most important resource. They are beneficial to us in many ways. The plants inhabiting a particular area are called flora. Plants provide us with the following: oxygen required for respiration, raw materials for industries, and regulation of biochemical cycles. Oxygen required for respiration, raw materials for industries, regulation of biochemical cycles. Animals, on the other hand, are called as the fauna. They also provide us with food and are significant components of the food chain. Conservation of forest and wildlife.
That means we need to protect the plants and animals. But what can we do to preserve it?
There are quite a lot of methods to preserve them. The government has also taken measures to protect them by earmarking national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserve.
What are these?
Can you elaborate? I will explain that to you. Sanctuary are areas where animals are protected from any disturbance to them, and the habitat and national park are areas reserved for wildlife where they can freely use the habitats and natural resources. A biosphere reserve is a large area of protected land for conservation of wildlife, plant and animal resources, and traditional life of the tribals living in the area. Biosphere reserve. The biotic components of the nature, that is, the plants and animals, along with the microorganisms, make up the biodiversity of an area. The motive of the biosphere reserve is to conserve this biodiversity. It may include the natural parks in it, like the Pachmani Biosphere Reserve, consists of one national park named Satpura and two wildlife sanctuaries named Bori and Pachmani. Species. Why does the mango tree always produce mango and not the apples? A group of populations which are capable of interbreeding is called a species. The members of a species can reproduce fertile offspring only with the members of their own species and not with the members of other species because they have common characteristics. Endemic species. Why are sal and wild mango grown here, and bison and flying squirrel inhabit this place? Sun. These are the endemic species. These are those species of plants and animals which are found exclusively in a particular area. They are not naturally found anywhere else. If their habitat is disturbed by the introduction of new species, they may vanish. Endangered species.
Can you tell me about the Project Tiger?
Project Tiger was launched by the government to protect the tigers in the country. The objective of this project was to ensure the survival and maintenance of the tiger population in the country.
But what is the need to protect them? Are they present in an abundant number in the forest?
Tiger is one of the many species which are slowly disappearing from our forests or are endangered species. But the biosphere reserves have a good number of animals that are under threat.
What are endangered species?
Animals whose numbers are diminishing to a level that they might face extinction are known as the endangered animals. National Park. These reserves are large and diverse enough to protect whole sets of ecosystems. They preserve flora, fauna, landscape and historic objects of an area. Satpura National Park is the first reserve forest of India. The finest Indian teak is found in this forest. Migration.
Do these birds live here the whole year?
These birds have flown here from other parts of the world. They fly to faraway areas every year during a particular time because of climatic changes. They fly for laying eggs as the weather in their natural habitat becomes very cold and inhospitable. Birds that cover long distances to reach another land are known as the migratory birds, like the Siberian crane, which flies to India. Recycling and reforestation. Children, do you know that the paper you use is made from trees? We should save paper because it would ultimately save the trees. It takes 17 full-grown trees to make 1 ton of paper. Also, by saving paper, the amount of destructive chemicals utilized for their production will also decrease. Let us understand how this recycling is done.
Recycling paper. Tear the paper into small pieces. Put them in a tub or a bucket and pour water in it. Let the pieces of paper remain submerged in water for a day. Make a thick paste of paper by pounding it. Now, spread the wet paste on the wire mesh fixed to the frame. Pat it gently to make the thickness of layer of the paste as uniform as possible. Wait till water drains off. If required, spread an old cloth or a sheet of newspaper on the paste to let it soak the extra water. Now, carefully remove the layer of paste from the frame. Spread it on a sheet of newspaper in the sun. Keep the corners of the newspaper sheet pressed by putting some weights.
Consequences of deforestation. This is a very critical issue. What will happen if deforestation is not controlled? Well, son, there are a lot of consequences of deforestation, and if not taken care of, it would lead to numerous problems. Let me explain them to you. Air pollution. Deforestation increases the level of carbon dioxide in atmosphere. That leads to air pollution. This polluted air has several ill effects on living organisms, causing various diseases and disorders. Desertification. Plants help in binding the soil, and in the absence of these plants, floods would erode away the topsoil, resulting in soil erosion. The topsoil is the most fertile layer. If it gets washed off, the below layers have less of humus, and fertile land may convert into desert. The water-holding capacity of the soil reduces, leading to decreased infiltration rates. As you can see, that the soil in box A is able to absorb a large amount of water in comparison to that in box B. Global warming. Plants give out oxygen by photosynthesis. Less trees would mean less consumption of carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide traps the heat rays reflected by the earth, increasing the temperature of the earth, or global warming. Carbon dioxide released from the human activities has led to an increase in the global warming. Droughts. The increase in temperature on the earth disturbs the water cycle. Rainfall may be affected due to deforestation, and subsequently, the groundwater also depletes. It may even give rise to droughts.
This means only plants are important to us. Do the animals also get affected due to deforestation?
Yes, dear. The forests are the habitat of these animals. If the forests are cleared, they would become home